Hello my sweet angels, it's your girl Jay, and today I am here with a tag video. I'm going to be doing the end of the year book tag. This was originally created by Ariel Bissett. There's 6 questions total. I've done this tag a couple of times on my channel, so I'll link those videos down below if you want to see previous years of it. But without further ado, let us get started. The first question is, are there any books that you've started this year and need to still finish? Short answer is yes. I have multiple books that I am in the middle of. I pulled a couple off of my bed because that's usually where I keep them, and there's also a bunch on my Kindle, but the physical ones from my bed are The Navigator's Touch. The first one is The Seafarer's Touch, which I read back in like 2018, and I've had this on my shelf forever because the author had sent me both of the books when they were first released, and I read the first one, gave it, I want to say a 3.5 or a 4. I don't fully remember because it was so long ago, but I started this one back in like 2020, I want to say, and I got to page 22. I read the first chapter, so, and it's signed, so I should probably read it, and I should probably just reread the first chapter because I don't remember what happened. I also don't remember what happened in the first book, so that's a problem. The next book is Belladonna by Adeline Grace. I just bought Foxglove, so my plan is to binge both of those books. And then if I like the 2 first books, then I will find the 3rd book and read that. But this is one that I also only read the first chapter of. So I am on page 14. So I think we're just going to reread the first chapter as well. And then the one that I'm probably the most ashamed about, because it's been forever since I started this book and it's just taking me so long, is Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. I'm sorry, but this book is such a chonker. I'm on page 290. So I am making my way through it, just very, very slowly. And I'm liking it a lot. So I don't know why I keep picking up other things. I think it's just a very intimidating book for me. I'm not even halfway through. So that needs to be done. The next question is, do you have an autumnal read to transition yourself into the next part of the year? And I don't have like a particular book that I read, but I personally feel like the whole fantasy genre is a very like fall winter genre. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody else, but in fall and winter I only want to pick up fantasy. And I don't know if it's just like the vibes of the story or what, but like romance is like a spring summer thing for me. Thrillers is like an all year round thing for me, but it also gives off fall winter vibes as well. So, but yeah, fantasy in general is usually what I lean more towards in winter autumn time. Question number 3 is there a new release that you are still waiting for this year? Mine is A Cruel Thirst by Angela Montoya. This is the author of A Sinner's Isle, which, spoiler alert, I'm going to be talking about that book later on. But this is a vampire hunter story. It's a romantasy. It gives me Serpent and Dove vibes, but vampires instead of witches. It's supposed to be coming out in December and I have an e-arc of it, so I will be reading it then, and hopefully I really, really like it. Like, fingers crossed, I really want to love it. I did really enjoy her first book, so I'm anticipating really enjoying this one. The 4th question is, what are 3 books that you still want to read this year? I should say the 3 books that I haven't finished yet, but I chose 3 different ones so that we got more books in this tag. But the first one is A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. This is the 3rd book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, and I loved the first 2 books, so I really do want to see how the story concludes. I've just been putting it off because I don't want the story to conclude, if that makes sense, but this is one that I am going to be reading very soon. The next one is one that I do think that I talked about in the last end of the year tag video that I did. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I used it for the exact same question, so a little bit of shame on this one. But it is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake, and this has been on my TBR forever. A lot of people really love it, a lot of people don't love it, but I want to be somebody who does really love it, and I do also have the 2nd book, so the plan is to read both of those, and then if I enjoy this one and the 2nd book, then I will go find a copy of the 3rd book. And then the final book that I really want to read is Sinner's Isle by Angela Montoya. See, spoiler, it came up. This one will be a reread for me, but I gave it a 4.5 when I first read it, and I truly, truly believe that it is a 5-star read for me because I listened to it on audiobook, right? And when I was listening to it, I was also at work cleaning out a closet, so I wasn't fully paying attention to the story. And I think that if I did actually pay attention, I would give it a 5 stars because a lot of shit happened in the end that I don't think I fully grasped. There was a lot of like twists and turns that, again, did not fully grasp. We're gonna reread this when I'm off in December because I have 3 days off from work, so I can fully immerse myself in this world. It is a Pirates of the Caribbean meets Serpent and Dove, and it is really good because I already read it. But I do think that it would be a 5 out of 5 stars, so I'm excited to dive back into it. The 5th question is there a book that you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? Honestly, there are quite a few books that I do think that I'm really going to love, but I chose one because it was right in front of me, and that's the only reason why I'm choosing this one. But it is The Foxglove King by Hannah Whitten. This is the first book in a series. I actually do have the second book, The Hemlock Queen. So again, we are going to binge. We are hopefully going to like it. It is a romantasy. It's about a young woman who has the secret power to raise the dead, and this plunges her into the world of the dangerous sainted king's realm. So I think it sounds really good. It's definitely up my alley, so we're gonna see if it has the power to dethrone my #1 book right now. We'll see. And then the 6th and final question is, have you already made reading plans for the next year? Yes and no. I do have a couple of reading goals that I have. So right now I'm sitting at 200 books read for 2024. So I'm thinking that maybe putting my reading goal as 200 next year could be a goal. But then I also think that that's a lot of pressure on me. And if I don't complete it, I'm going to be disappointed in myself because that's the kind of human I am. So I don't know if it's going to be that. I also have several books that I want to read next year, but I think my main goal next year is just to try to read more of my physical books because I have way too much, and my boyfriend and I are talking about moving in together, and I cannot bring all of these books. So the plan is to read physical TBR so that I can get rid of the books if I'm not enjoying them, because I am of the mindset of if I spent money on these books, I am going to read them. Even if I'm probably not interested in them anymore, I am going to read them because I spent my money on them, so I have to. So that's the goal for next year. All right, everybody, so that was the end of the year book tag for 2024. If you're interested in the previous years that I've done this tag, I will link the videos down below. You guys can check them out if you're interested. Let me know down below if you have read any of these books and what you thought of them, and I will see you all in my next video. Goodbye.